Okay, so I hope that you have a chart that looks like this now and that you are on and ready to go to translate these boxes. So the title, okay, let's first start with this title. Well, it looks like exactly what it means in English, right? They're both cognados, they're both cognates. So adjetivo is adjective and posesivo is possessive. So possessive adjectives. First and foremost, let's understand what possessive adjectives mean and what they are in English. Okay, what does possessive mean? Well, if I think of that word, I think of possessions, okay? And so I'm possessing something. Am I possessing an adjective? No, but the adjective describes the possession or the person who owns something or the relationship that the person has to a given object. Okay, so it can be a possession or an adjective. So first off, let's try and think of what they are in English. What are our possessive adjectives in English? Well, we have my, okay, my, his, her, his, her, your, our. Okay, so let's take a noun, okay, because the possessive adjective is what we just listed. My, his, her, your, our, our. But let's put a noun with it so it kind of makes more sense than just, okay, I'm lost. So let's use the noun house. My house, his house, her house, your house, our house, their house, T-H-E-I-R. Okay, let's take a different noun. Car, my car, your car, his car, her car, their car, our car. Okay, so if I want to, somewhere in my notes or just to have something to go back to visualize what are possessive adjectives in English, then and if I want to write them in order, because I haven't given them to you in order, let's quickly do that, okay? Now in English, possessive adjectives won't have as many boxes as I see here for the Spanish version, okay? It won't be a four columns going down, 4 going across type thing, because we have less in English. So let's go in order. My, your, Y-O-U-R, his, her, H-I-S, or H-E-R, and then we're in the we form in English, and so the we form possessive adjective is our, O-U-R, and then the they form in English possessive adjective is their, T-H-E-I-R. And that is it. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total. And in Spanish, we have more than that, obviously. But you will need that English reference to know that there's only 6 translations of these words. Though you see more in the boxes and there's more words and some of them have to agree in gender and number, they can only mean one of the 6 English words that we just went over right there. Okay. Now, let's go into the first column right here. Right about here where we got mi, tu, su. This column is singular. So the columns where I see the arrows, so this column right here and this column right here are singular. So I make a note of that somewhere, okay? If I drew an arrow, maybe I write above that arrow singular. Okay, so that happens for 6 total words, okay? We have these here and these here. Now I look here and here, okay, so this row, mis, tus, sus, nuestros, vuestros, sus, they're plural. So the columns, the up and down columns that have arrows pointing to them are singular. And the up and down columns that don't have any arrows have to be plural. you should have that notated somewhere so that your brain can see this visual aid and actually have it help you. Otherwise, it might be confusing. All right, so now we know which columns are singular, which columns are plural. We know that all of these words in the chart that I see here on the screen have to mean one of these 6 choices here I have in English. Okay, so my, your, his, her, our, or their, THEIR. So now let's actually translate them. Well, we did. We have those 6, but let's put those translations somewhere. Okay, so follow along with my cursor, and hopefully this will work on your end that you'll see where my cursor is going. So in this very first box, me, M-I, and this box right here, M-I-S, mis, equals my. Both of them. Both of them is my in English. Me, mis, my. Why is there 2 and they mean the same thing? Because, like we have said various times in Spanish, adjectives must agree in gender and number. In English, we don't have so much emphasis on numbers, singularity, and plurality. But in Spanish, we do. So, me and mis we have one that's singular, me, and we have one that's plural, mis, but they both translate to my. And I decide which one to use based on the object that I'm possessing or the relationship to the object that I'm, talking about. So if I want to refer to my ojos, ojos meaning eyes, I have 2 of them, I'd have to say mis. But they never translate to mine, M-I-N-E. They translate to my. Okay, so we're working down the column. So we have tu, T-U, no accent mark. This is why I've told you that accent marks are importante. Why are they important? Because if I put an accent mark on this U, it changes it from your, Y-O-U-R, to the word Y-O-U. And in English, if you're writing a paper for Miss Brown or Mr. Powell and you want to say Y-O-U and you put in your essay Y-O-U-R, it is not the same. And so therefore, it's not the same in Spanish either. So where you need accent marks, they got to be there. And then when you use words that don't have accent marks, don't put them. There's a reason it doesn't have it. Okay, so translation purposes, we have tu, T-U, no accent, and we have tus, T-U-S right here, equals your, Y-O-U-R. Now for my native speakers listening to me, we have Y-O-U-R in English, and we also have Y-O-U, apostrophe R-E. It is not the apostrophe R-E version. Any apostrophe word in Spanish, in English, means that it's a contraction. There are 2 words smushed together to make one. So Y-O-U, apostrophe R-E, is actually U, and the word R-A-R-E, smushed together, and it makes a contraction. Now we have contractions in Spanish too, all right, as well as in English, but let's not confuse which your I should be using. So the possessive adjective your in English is Y-O-U-R, and that goes for the second row, first 2 boxes, tu and tus. All right, so we move down the chart. We got su and sus. Well, what does that mean? His or her? His house, his car. If he has more than one car, then it's sus. If she has more than one house, then it's sus. But the meaning in English does not change. So su and sus both mean his and her. All right, so now we're over here on the right side of the chart. Now we have little endings in parentheses. Why? Again, gender and number. So we could have nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, nuestras. Now we don't need this box right here, the vosotros form, because again, that's typically used in Spain, so we're not even going to bother putting a lot of emphasis in that box, okay? But it will work the same way as the rest of these boxes, okay? But it's referring to a different person. So we have things in parentheses based on gender and number. Okay, that's nothing new. So let's translate them. Both of these highlighted boxes mean our, O-U-R, our house, our cars, our brothers, our teacher. Okay, so a possession or a relationship to a certain object, and I choose between the singular box with the arrow or the plural box with no arrow based on the object or the noun that would come after this possessive adjective. Okay, so I skip vosotros, I move down to here, now we're at su and sus. Notice, this whole entire row is the same. So how do you tell the difference? Context clues. You'll actually have to listen to the speaker or actually be reading the text to find out which person they're referring to or talking about. But what's great about it all being the same is it makes it easier for us to remember. Okay, it's less to remember. Yes, this chart you will need to know. Okay, so we got su, sus. Okay, but on this side, it would be where like usted or ellos falls, okay? Because everything is going to be aligned with the chart on the bulletin board. And this translation would be what? Is it his or her? No, it's their, T-H-E-I-R. Their car, their cousin, their teacher, their house. All right, so I suggest there's going to be a lot of confusion and questions and maybe even some frustrations on this slide alone. So if you find yourself in that seat, that you're one of those things, you have to email me. Email me and I'll try my best to verbalize some more explanation, and we will spend a lot of time reviewing this slide throughout the semester, and it will help when I'm there physically. But for the time being, I hope this explanation helps you. So let's review. Everything I see on the screen is a possessive adjective. What does a possessive adjective mean? It means that I own or possess some object, or I'm indicating a relationship between me and a certain person or object. Okay, my car or my brother. In English, we only have 6 versions: my, your, his, her, our, and their. In Spanish, I have more than that. Okay, as I can see, I have singular columns. And I use the singular columns when I'm referring to a singular noun. Then I have plural columns, and I use those when I'm referring to a plural noun. So instead of the eyes, when I use los ojos, I can use tus ojos, your eyes, sus ojos, his eyes, mis ojos, my eyes. Okay? All right, so let's move on. This practicing exercise we will do soon, okay? I probably will make a video where I will explain the directions and then have you do it on paper and email me your responses, okay? That's practicing with exactly the slide before it. And again, you can see this whole entire presentation on Canvas. It is up there under week 1. Okay, this is making sentences, so I would like you to do this right now. Okay, so take out a piece of paper or take out your iPads and get onto a Google Doc. You can share the document with me, or you can do it on a piece of paper and send me a photo of your paper when you're done. So either way, everybody's working. Okay, the title of the slide here, un breve resumen, is just a short review. Okay, let's try to take words and put them in the correct order to formulate a sentence. So number 1, I have familia. What's that mean? Family. Es. Oh, es comes from our ser video. Ser meaning to be. So make sure to, go back to those notes, even review that video if you need to. Grande is big. Mi is from our possessive adjectives, my. So obviously I'm doing the possession, okay?